Welcome to GillsNReelsFishing. I'm Cody Allen. I'm excited to share with you my top 7 tournament upgrades for the Old Town PDL 120. Now when we start talking about some of these upgrades, the first 2 for me personally help with comfort. And when you've got some creature comforts out on the water, that makes you want to stay on the kayak longer, which means you're going to fish longer, which means most likely you're going to catch more fish.
And that's your goal. That is your goal, man.
But there are some upgrades that I want to discuss that make it even better. Now, straight from the factory, it's a very comfortable kayak, but even by pulling the seat in its most forward position, when I get in this kayak, I can reach the pedals, but it's just not quite comfortable.
Is it comfortable?
Absolutely not.
Because the seat is slanted back, and with that backward stance of the seat, it pulls me away from the pedals and just doesn't make it comfortable while I'm pedaling. So to solve that issue, I went on Amazon and purchased a yoga block. I cut it in half, and then I tried, you can move it around in different configurations, which gives you different heights and to determine what's going to be best for you. When I turn the yoga block in this scenario, this gives me a fairly level seat. And now when I sit in the kayak, I can pedal so much more comfortably. And so this for me was just what I needed.
Comfy, cozy.
So for me, that was a significant upgrade because I didn't have to go buy a bunch of seat risers beforehand to determine what the right height was. This led me to the right height. Now I don't have to go buy another seat riser because these are perfectly fine. It was only $11 roughly on Amazon. If these fall into the water, they float. So that was a great solution that made a big impact for me. So again, from the factory, it's a very comfortable seat, but I needed a little bit extra cushion. Once you start reaching that 6 to 7 hour mark on the water, you can start to feel some pressure points, and then sometimes you get a little bit of numb bum. So I wanted to look into a company that would provide a kayak cushion, and I stumbled across Kushion company. They provide this kayak cushion. It comes in various firmnesses, but this was the firm, which I highly recommend. It's around $70, but your butt, no pun intended, will thank you for it.
Kia, this is comfortable.
And so will your back. I have some minimal back problems, and this, I can sit on the water all day with no issues. We're talking 8-10 hour days, multiple days in a row, and I have no issues. I love this cushion, so it's definitely made a big impact and change for me. As you're getting into kayak fishing, I'm sure you're gonna want to have a spot where you can store your tackle, maybe a jacket, some rain gear, your lunch, and most people usually start out with a milk crate. Milk crates are great. I used them when I had my Lifetime Tamarack Angler 100. It was phenomenal, did a great job. Then I upgraded to a milk crate with a top on it, which gave me some more storage. But the problem for me is I like to be very clean and organized with my tackle. And when the wind blows and it starts to rain, the holes in the milk crates introduce debris and your tackle can get wet. So for me, it was time to upgrade to something a little bit more robust, something that could be a little more weatherproof and watertight. And that's when I came across the YakAttack BlackPak Pro. Now this is the 16 by 16 version. It comes with 6 rod holders. So I did splurge and I bought the YakAttack Shortstak, which gives you some additional storage up top to put soft plastics, a number of different things that you could put in here depending on what you want to do. I do understand this comes at more of an expensive price point, but this is going to last me a long time. And not only that, but it's going to protect some of those future upgrades that I'm going to get into next. It's American made and it's well worth the money to me.
Totally worth it.
Now this next upgrade is, I think, essential for any kayaker. It's finding a good fish finder, which can be difficult sometimes. There's a lot of options out there. You don't know whether you want to go budget. So on my Tamarack Angler 100, I had a Garmin Striker 4 Plus, which was a great fish finder. But for a kayak this size, that's 12 foot long, 36 inches wide, you want a bigger screen that's more user-friendly.
I'm upgrading you.
For me with the fish finder, I wanted to be able to find one that could grow with my skill level. As I upgrade and say I wanted to get 2 screens linked together, I wanted one that maybe had that future possibility as well as LiveScope. So you kind of got to think about where you're headed on your fishing journey, what you want to do in the future, what you can live with currently. And that's when I came across the Garmin 93 SV. I love Garmin products, they've been great for me. This is a 9-inch screen. It has a chart plotter built into it. You can also download maps to your local reservoirs. But most importantly with the fish finder is you get that temperature, so you know what the temperature of the water is, you know what the depth of water you're fishing in, and then with this it came with a GT56 transducer, which gives you side imaging, down scan, traditional sonar, and then it has the capability to add LiveScope and to link two screens together. So it kind of fit the bill for me. It's, I would say, a mid-range fish finder. It's not the most expensive. It's definitely not the cheapest, but it's a good middle of the road. It's an ultra high def. It's not a UHD2, but it has all the features. And then to mount it, you know, me being a shorter guy with shorter arms, I wanted it to be close so that I could touch the screen very easily and not have to bend over. And then I also wanted it to be in range for me to be able to look at while I'm sitting in my seat too. So the way that I attached this was just with a YakAttack mount. But if you've researched this kayak, I'm sure you've also heard of another company called Navarre Kayak Fishing. Nick and Erica do a great job of making aftermarket parts for the Old Town kayak series, which allows you to have more flexibility and more fishability. So to mount it, I wanted it close. I couldn't put it on the rail. So I wanted an option to put it on the handle, but the handle doesn't have that, right? So Navarre Kayak Fishing, Nick produces a 3D printed handle that has a T-slot in it. You could put the YakAttack mount on there, and then have a YakAttack fish finder mount. And then I just took the mount that comes with the fish finder itself, put it on there. Boom, perfect. I love it that I can swivel it. I can adjust it to however I want. And that has been a huge game changer for me.
You want us to upgrade? Then let's upgrade.
Now another product that Nick also provides, I'll show you, this through-hull transducer mount. That is actually super nice. This is your traditional mounting location, which is fine, but it just sits a little bit lower. Nick produced a great through-hull mount for the 56 transducer, and then I just brought it through the kayak, ran the wires through. Now the next upgrade, to be honest, I didn't think I was gonna have it anytime soon, but my wife surprised me.
The inevitable upgrade.
And it was the Garmin LiveScope LVS 34. Now it's phenomenal at giving you more information about fish, like you can determine what a school of fish looks like and what species. You can also look at a brush pile and be able to see a fish in it, or you can drop your jig down to a brush pile and see the fish come out of it. I had another tournament where I threw out a jig and I saw a bass come up 3 feet off the bottom to meet my lure. So LiveScope definitely gives you a lot of education and helps you understand where fish move, why they're on certain structure. And so it's really beneficial for me, and I really enjoyed learning. To mount my LiveScope, I was really struggling to determine what was the best way to go. I wanted to have this BlackPak for the option of upgrading to the LiveScope LVS 34. And with that, I cut in the YakAttack through-hole kits. This is the XL size. So now I have a power cable coming on this side of the BlackPak, and then I also have my network cord that goes to my 93 SV over there. And then I put these paddle holders on top so that it can hold my mount right there, or it can hold my pole. And then the great thing about the YakAttack BlackPak is that now I can have my own little cutting board divider with my GLS 10 that's Velcroed to this, put my battery on this side, and now that system is dust proof, watertight for the most part. And then I would take my pole, bring my pole through, mounts underneath my seat. Got my Summit Fishing mount that holds this in place very well. I can move it, but I can maneuver it out if I've already got locked on someplace that I want, or I can bring it back so it's easier for me to hold. I can rotate 360 with no issue. And then if I actually, when I do get a boat, I can take this mount, that was the idea, put it on the boat. That's why I didn't go with the smaller ram mount. This has not had an issue for me getting in the way while I'm fishing or anything like that, so it's been great. I've really enjoyed it.
That's what comforts me.
That's LiveScope for you. Now, I'd really appreciate it if you're getting some information out of this video, if you wouldn't mind just hitting that subscribe button.
I mean, I've always subscribed.
I'd love to hear any comments from you. If there's something that you think that you've really enjoyed on your kayak that was a great upgrade, share that in the comments below.
Wow, no comment.
And my next upgrade was always something I planned on installing on this, which was the bow-mounted Motorguide XI3. Phenomenal motor, it's been great.
That's what I'm talking about.
It does have the GPS anchor lock system, which is similar to Minn Kota Spot Lock, and it does a great job. So when you're sitting in the kayak, you would just pull this cord, it releases that. This would drop down to the water, lock into place. You've got this cord again. Once you pull this, it releases the latch. This would then be pulled up. When you're pulling this cord, this would rotate. Pretty slick little system. If you're looking for a specific video on how I installed this on the Old Town PDL 120, I'll put a card up here in this corner that you'll be able to find. Also put a link in the description below that will take you to my video of how step by step I installed this onto this kayak. There are distinct advantages to having this XI3 on the kayak, obviously. Spot lock is one of those great features. When you're out fishing and you're fishing in the wind in particularly, it holds me in this position that I need to. I can cast all the locations that I need to. I'm not having to worry about making sure I'm pedaled in the right spot. And then if I do catch a fish, I'm not worried about paddling backwards to get out of the tree. This holds me in the position that I need to. If I catch the fish, I can take it into the wind over here, anchor down, measure my fish, take the photo, all holding me in one position. So I've really loved this. This has actually been so great for me that I leave the pedal drive in my truck for the most part, just as a backup. But then there are some cases where it's nice to also have the pedal drive as well. For instance, if you're pre-fishing the day before and you don't want to go through your batteries for your fish finder and the LiveScope, then you can just have the pedal drive on. You can release the motor, go set that in your truck. I'm going to set it here for the meantime. You can have the motor in your truck, pre-fish day, use the pedals only, and then when come tournament day, reverse it. You'll have this on and then have your pedals in the back of the truck.
A booyah!
Goes all day. You know, I've actually gotten 2 full days out of my 100 amp hour lithium ion battery. And so the only issue with going multiple days in a row is my fish finder battery and my LiveScope battery are just smaller amperages, so they're not able to handle the back-to-back days on the water. But I'm going to change that with an upgrade down the road.
You know I will.
Now, last but not least, I went and bought the Navarre kayak fishing pedal drive insert. So in the event that I don't have these pedals with me, I can put this insert in and I'll show you how that gets installed. It's very simple. You could even leave the pedal drives in if you want, but you would just pull this up. You would set down your pedal drive or your insert, put it in place, lock it down, and there you go. Now I've created a seamless floor that won't allow anything to drop through my baits, maybe my phone, lures, anything that you might just have had in your lap and you stood up and then randomly it drops through that hole. That eliminates that issue. It's really nice.
That's what I'm talking about!
Also, a frequently asked question is, can I stow my pedal drive and my XI3 motor? And the answer is
Yes! Yes! 1,000 times yes!
what makes it a lot easier to do that is if you have this insert, because you can pull it away from its mounting position and have it stretched out a little more, which gives you that maneuverability to be able to then put your XI3 motor into its locking position. So it definitely is possible. It's definitely a lot simpler if you have that insert put into place. And just remember, the best time to fish is when you have time to fish. Get outdoors, go fish. Now, if you're looking for a more budget fishing kayak, I did a video here on the Lifetime Tamarack Angler 100, and then also I did a video here that shows 7 upgrades for the Lifetime Tamarack Angler 100 that make it more fishable and usable for you. So go check those videos out, and thanks for stopping by.